I'm going to give you an insight that will make you feel more confident around women that you find attractive, and as a result, they will find you attractive. But in order for you to believe the insight that I'm about to give you, I first need to show you some proof, right? So let's begin. So many guys go through life thinking that they need to look like a model, or at least be very good looking, to attract women so they can get a girlfriend or a wife. Yet all the while, there are millions of guys out there who get themselves a girlfriend or a wife, even though the woman looks better than they do. Other guys look on in confusion and think, why is she with him? What's going on? How did he get her? What did he say? What does he have that I don't have? And from many years of experience helping men with this particular area of life, I know that there is a percentage of guys who right now will be thinking, well, I know what the answer is, right? The guy's rich. All these guys that have a girlfriend and the guy doesn't look as good as her, he's rich. That's it. Yet, let's just talk about a few facts here, right? That being, if you look at capital cities around the world, the amount of millionaires is usually less than 5%. And the majority of millionaires are older, they are married, they have kids, they've settled down a long time ago, and eventually they make some investment or they do something, it eventually pays off and they build themselves up to that point. The chances of a young woman getting with a young millionaire guy is not even 1%, it's less than that. It's a very tiny percentage, right? The chances of her doing that. And as a result, she gets with guys who are not that successful. She gets with guys who are just normal, everyday guys. And for most guys, when they think about it, most of the guys that they know who have a girlfriend or a wife are just normal guys, right? They're just getting by, or both the girlfriend and the boyfriend or the husband and the wife, they both work, they're paying rent together or they're paying off a mortgage together, they save up for years to go on a holiday and so forth. They're not loaded, they're just normal people, they're paying bills together, they're trying to enjoy their life and build a life together. So now that I've shown you some proof, it's a better time now to give you this insight. You're most likely going to be more ready and willing to understand this insight and accept it as fact. That being, when it comes to women, in many cases, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. For example, a lot of guys go through life and they say, well, look, I've got to be 6 foot or taller to get myself a girlfriend or a wife. I've heard women say that they want a tall guy, that they want a guy who's 6 foot. But then you look at the statistics and you realize, the majority of men, say, for example, in America, are less than 6 foot. It's only a small percentage of men who are actually 6 foot or taller. Yet a lot of guys just aren't aware of that, right? They've heard women say that they want a tall guy. And if they've tried to use dating apps, then women definitely want a tall guy on dating apps. When it comes to dating apps, the majority of users are men. And as a result, women's standards go way up. So they naturally start to try to get some of the things that they would want to get, that would like to get in the real world, but they can't because it's very difficult to find. But they have so many options on dating apps that they're able to be a lot choosier. But once again, a lot of guys just don't know that, right? They don't realize that the majority of users on dating apps are men, and as a result, they're competing with thousands of men for the same girl. And in many cases, they're not even getting looked at. Right, they're not even being seen. Then the guy sees an article in the news somewhere with a study and that says women prefer tall men. And he thinks, well, see, they all want a guy who's 6 foot or taller. Yet the reality is, not only aren't those men available for all the women, but when women say that they want a tall guy, in many cases, what they actually mean is a guy that's taller than them. Right? So the woman is like 5'4" or 5'5", and the guy is 5'7", or 5'6", 5'9", something like that. He's not 6 foot. He's just taller than her. Hang on, what about short guys then who want a woman who is taller than them? Surely that means the short guy has no chance because women prefer a man who is taller than them. Yet, as you can see, there are short guys out there who get themselves a girlfriend or a wife, and in some cases the woman is a lot taller than the short guy. Most women don't necessarily go out there on the hunt trying to find a guy who's shorter than them, but there are so many women who will get with a guy who is a little bit shorter than her and be totally fine with that, or even a lot shorter than her, and she'll be totally fine with that. She'll be happy with that. They'll be in love. They'll get married. They'll stay together. Short guys like this haven't just counted themselves out and said, well, look, I can't get a girlfriend because I'm short. It's not possible for me. It's not fair. I can't do it. I'm short. I can't get a girlfriend. They didn't give up. They believed in themselves. They gave themselves a chance, and they got themselves a girlfriend. So the thing is, with this here, it's not who you are that holds you back, it's who you think you're not. That applies to most situations with women. And if you're interacting with a woman and you feel unworthy, right, you think that you're not good enough for her, no way she would like a guy like you. No way. Women sense that. They see it in your body language. They hear it in how you're talking to them. They pick up on it. And it turns them off for so many reasons. One of the reasons is that if a woman gets into a relationship with a guy who doesn't feel worthy of her and is looking at her as this lucky prize that he might be able to get and he would be so lucky to have, but he's not worthy of, then what's going to happen in the relationship? It's highly likely that he's going to become clingy, jealous, controlling, and overprotective in the relationship, and that's not going to be fun for her. She would much rather be with a guy who feels like he's good enough for her, but still respects her, still shows her interest, but he knows that he's good enough for her. How can he be good enough for her if he's not 6 foot? If he's not rich? If he's not famous? If he doesn't have the perfect body? It all comes down to how you think about yourself. In many cases with women, it's not who you are that holds you back, it's who you think you're not. And the reality is that feeling unworthy of women will only ever hurt you. It won't help you when you're interacting with a woman for the first time. It won't help you on a first date. It won't help you during sex. And it won't help you in a relationship. It's up to you to decide that you are worthy. You can't wait for women to say that you're worthy, right? These other guys who've gotten themselves a girlfriend, in many cases, they decided that they were worthy. They gave themselves a chance. And in some cases, the guy isn't very confident, right? He might even be a bit of a nerd, but he was determined to get a chance with her. He was determined to make something happen, and he did. And that's actually very impressive to a lot of women, right? They instinctively want to be with a guy who has enough determination, enough courage to go after what he wants and make something happen. Don't get me wrong though. There are women out there who have very high standards with men. And unless a guy is rich and tall and muscular and drives a luxury car and lives in a big mansion, they're not going to be interested. Or unless he's a ball player, unless he's a celebrity, unless he's this or that, they're not going to be interested because they go after those sort of guys. Those sort of women do exist. But at the same time, the majority of women out there will actually get with a normal everyday guy. And you have to understand that. Don't go through life looking at women and automatically disqualifying yourself, automatically thinking, I couldn't get with her because she's pretty. I feel attracted to her. Look at her. Why is she going to get with a guy like me? Well, why is this girl with that guy, that guy, and so forth? In almost all cases, the reason why is that the guy gave himself a chance and was able to make her feel attracted as he was talking to her. So he was able to display the sort of confidence that makes women feel attracted, or he was charming, or he was funny, or he was masculine, or he was charismatic, and he simply moved it forward. So if you're one of the guys who doesn't really know what to say or do to attract a woman when you start interacting with her, or you don't really feel confident around women that you find attractive, then watch one of the videos that will appear on the screen at the end of this video. Or if you want to learn my best ever techniques that I won't be able to share on YouTube because they're in my book, then I recommend that you read my ebook, The Flow, or listen to the audiobook version. It includes my best ever examples of how to start conversations, continue conversations, make women feel instantly attracted to you, make women want to contribute to the conversation, make women interested in you, initiate touch, initiate a kiss, initiate sex, get a date, have sex on the first night or sex on the first date. Essentially, how to go from one step to the next with a woman that you find attractive. The Flow is the easiest way to get laid or get a girlfriend. The Flow is what I created and used to go from not having any women interested in me to enjoying my choice of women for over 10 years before settling down with my perfect girl when I was 35 and she was 20. The Flow includes my best examples of how to attract women to get laid or get a girlfriend. That said, if you want to watch some examples now of what to say and do to attract women, then click on one of the videos on the screen and continue learning.